at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
As perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
America is going through tough times, and we all need to laugh. True. I know that better days are ahead. If we believe in ourselves, and the way I believe in myself, and I really do believe in myself, then come June, if I decide to run, you'll have the great pleasure of voting for the man that will easily go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. Me, Donald John Trump. God bless America, and good night.
At their podiums, they are ready.
First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. In Wisconsin, you're losing $2.2 billion. And when the people of Iowa found that out, I went to #1, and you went down the tubes. I promise, if I wanted it, I would have got it.
For anybody on this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody. That was my job, to get along with people.
But the
I didn't
simple
want
fact
to,
is-
excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Fact is,
Jeff,
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that. Wrong.
Well,
Don't make
fact
things
is-
up, Jeff.
Don't cut me off,
Come
sir.
on. Don't make things up. I will get along, I think, with Putin, and we will have a much more stable world. He just doesn't have courage. There's something missing from our president. It's a terrible statement. I think it's going to haunt him absolutely. I was watching, and he said the statement, and I said, wow, I can't believe it. I think she's got a beautiful face, and I think she's a beautiful woman. I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
She
is
is
a total
absolutely the love of my life, and
mischaracterization of what
she's
I
right
said.
here, and why don't you apologize for her
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong. I only say this. She can't run any of my companies. I am not sitting in the United States Senate with, by the way, the worst voting record there is today. Your brother and your brother's administration gave us Barack Obama because it was such a disaster those last 3 months that Abraham Lincoln couldn't have been elected.
Mr. Trump?
Humble.
I like Donald. He is an amazing entertainer. Most of his life.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For most of his life, that's a matter of principle. And I'll tell you.
You are the single biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single biggest liar.
All right.
This guy lied. Let me just tell you. This guy lied about Ben Carson when he took votes away from Ben Carson in Iowa. And he just continues. And today, we had robocalls saying Donald Trump is not going to run in South Carolina, where I'm leading by a lot. I'm not going to run. Vote for Ted Cruz. This is the same thing he did to Ben Carson. This guy will say anything. Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I get to
Cruz,
respond.
pick from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
When you point to his own record, he screams, liar, liar, liar. If you want to go,
Where did I support it? Where did I support it?
To go
Hey, Ted,
and watch,
where did I
if you
support
want to
it?
go and watch the video, go to our website,
Hey, Ted,
tedcruz.org.
where
You
did I
can see
support it, Ted?
out
Now, don't
of
tell me about
Donald's
a
own
video.
mouth. When we
Where
were
did I support it?
You supported it when we were battling over defunding Planned Parenthood. You went on television and said Planned Parenthood does wonderful things and we should not defund them.
It does do wonderful things, but not as it relates to abortion.
So tell me, what are the wonderful things? What are the wonderful things it does?
There are wonderful things having to do with women's health.
You see,
but
you and I
not when it
disagree
comes
on that.
to abortion. Not
John,
when it comes to abortion. That's where I draw
John, the reason.
Mr. Trump, talking about the polls, I'm beating him awfully badly in the polls.
But you're not beating Hillary.
So
you're not beating Hillary.
Well, then if I can't beat her, you're really going to get killed, aren't you? USA, USA, USA. I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States. These are people who work hard but no longer have a voice. I am your voice. We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration, to stop the gangs and the violence, and to stop the drugs from pouring into our communities. I truly believe will be outstanding in every way and will be the next Vice President of the United States, Governor Mike Pence. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Donald.
Now, in all fairness to Secretary Clinton, yes, is that okay? Good. I want you to be very happy. It's very important to me.
Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
Her
this?
name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
this?
Machado.
Where did you find it? And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now?
Why won't he release his tax returns? And I think there may be a couple of reasons. First, maybe he's not as rich as he says he is. Maybe he's not as charitable as he claims to be. He didn't pay any federal income tax. So
That makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero,
I will release my tax returns when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release.
I'm not going to make any excuses. It was a mistake, and I take responsibility for that.
Okay, that was not a mistake. That was done purposely. I think it's disgraceful. And believe me, this country thinks it's disgraceful. It really thinks it's disgraceful also. She's telling us how to fight ISIS. Just go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
Well, go to the fact checkers. Get to work.
You are unpacking a lot here.
A man who can be provoked by a tweet should not have his fingers anywhere near the nuclear codes.
She doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina. And I don't believe she does have the stamina.
As soon as he travels to 112 countries, he can talk to me about stamina. This is a man who has called women pigs, slobs, and dogs.
I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament. I have a winning temperament. I know how to win.
Secretary Clinton.
Woo, okay.
Oh, you've seen me. I've been all over the place. You decided to stay home, and that's okay.
I think Donald just criticized me for preparing for this debate. And yes, I did. And you know what else I prepared for? I prepared to be president.
You bragged that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, mine are words and his was action. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women. And attack them viciously. 4 of them here tonight.
He has said that the video doesn't represent who he is, but I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it represents exactly who he is. But he never apologizes for anything to anyone. He owes our country an apology, and he needs to take responsibility for his actions and his words.
But when you talk about apology, I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed. And then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing. I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it. And I hate to say it. But if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it.
It's just not true, and so please go
you didn't delete them?
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Well, we turned over 35,000, so
Oh, yeah.
it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because you
I
have
didn't
nothing
in
to
the
say.
first debate, and I'm going to try not to in this debate, because I'd like to get to the questions that the people have brought here tonight to talk to us about.
And get off this question.
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight, anything to avoid talking about your campaign and the way it's exploding and the way Republicans are leaving you. But let's at least focus on some of the issues that people care about tonight. You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton. Answer the question.
Why don't you
still
interrupt
believe
her? You
I
interrupt
do.
me all the time. Why don't you interrupt her?
Would you please explain whether or not the Muslim ban still stands?
It's called extreme vetting.
In hours, I said that I was sorry about the way I talked about that, because my argument is not with his supporters, it's with him and with the hateful and divisive campaign that he has run.
We have a divided nation because people like her, and believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart. And when she said deplorables, she meant it.
Russia has decided that it's all in Syria. And they've also decided who they want to see become president of the United States, too, and it's not me. I've stood up to Russia. I've taken on Putin and others.
She talks tough against Russia. But our nuclear program has fallen way behind, and they've gone wild with their nuclear program. Not good.
Mr. Trump, let me repeat the question. If you were president, what would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? And I want to remind you what your running mate said. He said provocations by Russia need to be met with American strength.
Okay. He and I haven't spoken, and I disagree. I disagree.
You disagree with your running mate?
I think we have to knock out ISIS.
Would either of you name one positive thing that you respect in one another?
I respect his children. His children are incredibly able and devoted, and I think that says a lot about Donald.
I will say this about Hillary. She doesn't quit. She doesn't give up. One of my first acts will be to get all of the drug lords, all of the bad ones. We have some bad people. We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
What's really important about WikiLeaks is that the Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet.
I don't know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good.
Because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people, that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list. He's unfit, and he proves it every time
You
he
are
talks.
the one that's unfit. You know, WikiLeaks just actually came out. John Podesta said some horrible things about you, and boy, was he right. He said some beauties. And you know, Bernie Sanders, he said you have bad judgment. You do.
Well, you should ask Bernie Sanders who he's supporting for president. At the last debate, we heard Donald talking about what he did to women. And after that, a number of women have come forward saying that's exactly what he did to them. Now, what was his response? Well, he held a number of big rallies where he said that he could not possibly have done those things to those women because they were not attractive enough for
I did not
them
say
to be
that.
assaulted.
I did not say that.
In fact, he went on to say...
Her 2 minutes, sir. Her 2 minutes.
But did not say that. Those stories are all totally false. I have to say that. And I didn't even apologize to my wife, who's sitting right here, because I didn't do anything. I didn't know any of these women. I didn't see these women. These women, the woman on the plane, the woman, I think they want either fame or her campaign did it. And I think it's her campaign.
You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. The
Such a
Social
nasty
Security Trust Fund, by making sure that we...
I want to ask you here on the stage tonight, do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Going into this night, where do we stand?
This is where we stood coming into the night, 268 to 204, so clearly an advantage for Secretary Clinton.
Take a look here. If Donald Trump wins tonight, no matter who they voted for, take a look at these numbers here. 21% say they'll be concerned. 37% say they'll be scared.
This is what both candidates want. They want to be living there starting January 20th of next year. Florida has been going back and forth, just changed again. It's only 11,000 vote lead just now. It changed.
Math on your feet. I like this.
The Empire State Building in New York City. Take a look at our running tally of the electoral vote. Anderson, this night is turning out to be a real nail-biter.
All along, the Trump campaign has been saying that Florida's a must-win for them. And I mean,
they can't win without it.
Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida.
You know, I'm guessing that the people in Brooklyn, I can see their fingers
That's
probably.
the Hillary Clinton headquarters.
Yeah, fingers probably bleeding because there's no more nail to bite.
I wouldn't call anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend.
Wolf, the scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago when people were happy and relaxed. I have been looking around the room at people who are stone-faced. Some of them have been crying.
This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president.
This is the people rising up saying it's time to listen to us. It's time to listen to us in Michigan and Wisconsin and work for the people.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
States, President Obama is the ex-president. And Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps loose for the inaugural
What a great honor
address.
to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald